Gamers, fevers, lurkers, grab your snacks. The underdog, the legend in his own mind. Jaybeazt, dropping memes and bringing heat. Jaybeazt, stream is starting, pull up a seat. Breaking news, trailers dropped. I react and maybe sound a bit shocked. New game hype, I got the tea. Call of Duty, Battlefield, come watch me. Not a big shot, just starting out. But I'll hype your chat and hype my clout. My aim's kinda bad, my joke's kinda worse, but at least I never stream with rehearse. Jaybeazt, underdog with gamer streak. Jaybeazt, laughs, reacts, chaos you seek. Warning. Jaybeazt, you may mispronounce your favorite game. Please remain calm. Chat's alive, memes flying fast. I may fail, but it's always a blast. Subscriber hype, not just some friends. But the fun and chaos never ends. Reacting, chatting, sometimes I play. Even if I die in the first 5 minutes. Hey, new game breakdown, I'll nerd out loud. Making jokes, looking goofy, maybe proud. Jaybeazt, underdog, but bringing fire. Jaybeazt, love by beats, memes and satire. Who's in chat? Beast back. What's the game? Total snack. Level up? Maybe not yet. But we laugh, we hype, you won't forget. Achievements, sure, but I miss a lot. Glitches, bugs, rage quits I've caught. But while the pros are flexing loot, I'm here, underdog with style and cute. Streaming news, trailers, reactions too. Sometimes I even know what I'm doing, kinda true. Chat laughs, memes fly, and everyone's hyped. Welcome to Jaybeazt, the underdog is live tonight. Jaybeazt, underdog, chaotic streak. Jaybeazt, gaming news, laughs, you seek. Not a pro, but never weak. Caution, Jaybeazt may mispronounce your fake mispronounce your game, or make you laugh uncontrollably. Stream starting now. The fifth out.
What's up, everybody? What is up? I hope you guys had a fantastic week, and we're closing in on holidays already. So it is not cold and Christmassy down here in Melbourne. It's very hot. It's actually I've got my fan on right here, so don't mind me. Hopefully, it doesn't make too much of a noise. Hopefully, it doesn't make too much noise at all. Hopefully, I got my fan here because it can get pretty hot in here. I don't have a air conditioner in this room, unfortunately. But anyway, moving on. We're closing in on a fiery summer this season, but today it's actually a little cold. Actually, a little cold. We've had 35 degrees, 37-degree weather in the past 2 days, and then today it's like 18 and 20. I think midday went to like 20, and that's pretty much it. Kind of nice. It's kind of nice out there now. It's been kind of raining all day, but now it's like the sun is up again, and it's quite nice. But we got the stream to do today, so we're gonna get on with that. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. There's been some interesting developments in the gaming space in the past few days, and there's a lot to talk about, dude. There's a lot to talk about. We've had in our live streams in the past talked a lot about Naughty Dog, and also the conditions of working for the employees working in, like, developers working in the gaming industry and all that. And we had a lot of interesting insights into what the hell is going on in that space. And we've had some. Sorry, I got my latte here today. So we're having it. I was almost. I wasn't sure whether to have an iced latte or a normal latte, but then I decided to go with a hot one because This is cozy for me. This is cozy. Anyway, moving on. I have I have to talk about a lot of Naughty Dog stuff today. First things first, we decided to know why you're late. Well, um, the reason why I'm late is because I got caught up playing Where Winds Meet. That is the honest answer to that question. I had my clock, on my phone. I had the alarm set to 7, and then I kept playing because I never get enough time to play that game. And I thought, okay, I'm just gonna dip in for a little bit and play it, and then yeah. Sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a real issue with turning up on time. I actually got caught up. What happened was I was playing through Where Winds Meet, and then it gave me this notification saying, "Oh, you have reached level cap. You have to do this breakthrough." And I'm like, "What the hell is this?" Mind you, I haven't played a lot of Where Winds Meet because I haven't had time. Um, but then it was like, "What the hell is this breakthrough thing?" And then I jumped in and played. Like I pressed on it, and then it just took me into this little battle arena, and then I had like waves of enemies coming through that I had to defeat. Like it was a time trial. Like it was timed at like 10 minutes. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I do apologize. But hear me out. Hear me out. And then I was playing the breakthrough battle arena thing, and then I somehow managed to beat. There were 3 waves in total, and I beat all the enemies. I think in about 6 minutes in total. I had 10 minutes to do it, and oh, thanks, bro. Thank you. Yeah, I had to. I had to. I hope it's not like tell me if it's like catching onto the mic because I'm hoping it's not. Um, but yeah, I ended up playing Where Winds Meet and I beat the breakthrough mission. Okay, thank you. Thanks, bro. And and then it took me back into the world where I was, and then it said, "Oh, your world level has increased by 10 levels." Blah blah blah. And then I got a whole bunch of goodies and loot and like all like cosmetics, and it was awesome. And I was like, "Oh, that's all good." And then there was this flower thing right next to me, and then I went and I stood on it to see like what the hell it was. It was like bright purple, and then it made me sick. It made me sick. This looked like a sleeve shirt. Yeah, sleeve shirt is a. It's actually just a tee, bro. Just a tee. um, but yeah, and yeah, I stood on a flower and it made me sick, and I was about to quit, and I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? I'm dying, and I could see the health level going down, and it was like, oh, you're sick now, and you have to summon a doctor to heal you, and I'm like, what? You have to summon a doctor. So I was just digging around in the menus trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do in order to heal myself. Mind you, this was like a condition that was brought up on myself. It wasn't just affecting the health bar. The health bar, like I lost a little bit of health, but then like my character was like doing this sick animation. I'm like, oh, I'm sick animation constantly. And then it said to make it go away, I had to call a doctor. And I'm like, what? What do you mean I have to call a doctor? So I was digging around the menus, and it said, oh, you can summon a healer, which is actually another player. I'm like, oh, interesting. So I have to. So just to give you a bit of context, in Where Winds Meet, you can choose career paths where you can be like either a healer or like a bookworm or something like that. There's different career paths, right? And there are players out there in the world who have chosen the career path of a healer. Essentially, they're doctors, and you can summon them into your world, and they just drop in casually into your world and then heal you, and then just get out. And that's the mechanic to healing your character if you get sick and or get any sort of like an affliction on your character. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to think about that. That's at the it sounds really cool and also kind of annoying at the same time. But that's what I discovered, and it took me over 20 minutes to sort that out, unfortunately. And I looked at the time, and I'm like, oh shit, it's 7:16 or 7:17 or something like that. And then I just quit the game and rushed out to make my latte and get ready, and then here we are. So I am very sorry. I do apologize for being late, but we we do have a lot to talk about. We have some Naughty Dog news to talk about. So I'll tell you which in a minute. This is I'm gonna talk about that first. Then there's also a fully AI game that is apparently fully playable now on Steam. We're gonna check that out as well. And there's a BF6 update we'll get into, and there's some Bungie news. Bungie, the developers of Destiny 2 and the upcoming game Marathon. There's that. Unfortunately, no resync news. It's been quiet. They haven't put out anything. They're just Ubisoft being awfully quiet about it, right? No, unfortunately, there's nothing. I can run you through the same thing that I told you last time. That's about it. I literally haven't heard anything after the resync title update, and like ever since, like even through the Game Awards, nothing. They haven't. There's nothing. No leaks. Nothing. They're keeping it tight-lipped. Uh, there's some news concerning Netflix games that I want to talk about, and the big news of the day, which I will get to the last, is the whole situation with console sales. It's taken a nosedive in November, and it's pretty concerning. And there's a lot of concerning bits and pieces about that news that I want to talk about, which I will also get to. Netflix games. Yeah, if you're a FIFA fan, you might wanna hear this. So the reason why I'm bringing up Netflix news and it's Netflix news, Netflix games, there's a reason, because it signals a significant shift, which is what I want to talk about. Anyway, first of all, Naughty Dog. Okay, Naughty Dog. I want to talk about Naughty Dog first because this has been um kind of a crazy week for Naughty Dog actually, and I wanna. Oh no, hang on, give me a second. I just got hit by a paywall on Bloomberg. No, no, no paywall. Hang on. Oh, okay, there you go. No, damn. Oh, what happened? Confirmation somewhere on your stream schedule. Got a PS? What warning? You know, oh wait, what? What do you mean? You get a warning? Why would you get a warning for sending the tracker? That makes no sense. Why would you get? Why would you? Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. So you get a PS warning. Like, what did it say? What did the warning say? Oh, sorry, you have sent someone a link because it was like, well, you can't send a link, so don't do that again. Like, slap in the wrist. Like, what is it? So weird. Can't send links on PS. Like, what are they worried about? Oh. Okay. All right. You breached the PlayStation Network Code of Conduct. Oh, okay. Your account received a warning. Further offenses may lead to. Ooh. Oh, okay. That's pretty. That's pretty serious. That is pretty serious. Okay, I thought it was. I thought when you said a warning, it was more like, oh, sorry, an error occurred. You cannot send links through PS app or something. I didn't think it was like a fully serious warning on your account. Holy crap! Okay, all right. I did know that you couldn't send links on your PS app. Note to self: don't ever share links on PS app. There's your public service announcement, man. Holy crap! Just use WhatsApp. Just use WhatsApp. you know, use WhatsApp. I'm pretty sure they're fine with sharing links. I'm pretty sure they even have smart links. So weird. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, anyway, let's move on because we got Naughty Dog. All right, Naughty Dog. I don't know if you remember uh, back in like 2024 or 2023, I believe it was. They put out a documentary, like a whole big documentary about
Absurd.
Sorry, hang on. Whole documentary about the making of The Last of Us Part Two. This was it was last year, a year ago. Okay. Um, Naughty Dog, if you remember, they had a lot of troubles in the past about the whole crunch culture. They were they were in the spotlight because people started calling them out for having a pretty serious toxic crunch culture in their company, and developers keep getting burnt out, and they were having like 70, 80 hours a week crunch culture, and it was pretty freaking toxic. And this Naughty Dog was one of the culprits. So it wasn't the only company was doing it. A lot of other development companies were doing it, but Naughty Dog was one of them. So yeah, I know exactly. It's pretty crazy. The crunch is a serious situation in the gaming industry even to this day. Like a lot of Western studios have started to um, sort of dial it back a little, and cut back the crunch culture. Uh, yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. But Naughty Dog, being a Western studio, obviously had to face the consequences of this. So part of their significant shift was to move away from crunch culture and not set themselves seriously short deadlines and let people work through their workload. And they released a documentary. I don't know if you remember this. They released a documentary last year with the focus of making The Last of Us Part 2 called Grounded 2, and in which they said this. Okay? They said this. Listen to this.
The failure of trying to alleviate crunch was, if you have great processes and you're super organized, that doesn't fix crunch. What that does is it allows you to make a bigger game.
We read the post-mortem feedback for The Last of Us 2, and it was really, really upsetting to see what coworkers had gone through. So we were highly motivated to try to figure out how to fix it.
Everything about our workflows were already being upended with remote work and everything. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, we got to do this now.
And we knew that to make the real changes we did, it would take the entire studio working together.
We now have the goal for Naughty Dog to eliminate crunch.
The only
The man,
thing
the
that
myth,
fixes
and the
crunch,
legend,
the
Neil
only
Druckmann.
thing is just deciding that you're not going to crunch.
When we onboard people, we tell them, we have a reputation as a studio for crunching, and it's something we don't want. And it's something we're not going to do anymore.
Yeah. CGI from Lord of the Rings back 20 years ago compared to now is insane. Yeah. Yeah, it's CGI crunch is also crazy. And the quality of CGI has also gotten worse because we're trying to turn out shit in a really short time. But
First, we had to do what is crunch. Let's define.
what is crunch? What is crunch?
because when you just look at hours, that turn out to be too simplistic.
It's a multitude of factors. It's not just like one thing. It's not just, oh, because of this is what's causing crunch. It's literally like so many of these
Just
little
so you
things.
see. Just
How
wait.
do we
you see.
make sure
Just
no
wait.
one at Naughty Dog burns out?
Okay, so Neil Druckmann, the man, the myth, and the legend himself, says that they're on the right path to eliminate the crunch culture, because it is a bad thing. It is a bad thing, but it is also not easy to get rid of. They're working on it. They're actively working on it, and what they wanted to do is, be conscious about each employee's workload, and if they're struggling, have them reach out to others and work it out. Yeah, you digging it? Okay, good. Okay, so they were on the right path, and they were praised for it, and they have been pretty transparent about it.
You
Right.
know, every couple of months we send out a 90-second questionnaire that goes, are you worried about
A
your
questionnaire?
workload? Are you worried about having to work overtime? If you feel like I'm overburdened with work, you have to tell somebody.
Wait and see.
We used to, as a studio, when
Okay, so look at that. They're having food, and it's amazing. I mean, it looks like a place that you might want to work. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I wish I could work at Naughty Dog. And the reality of the situation when it comes to crunch is, even in like any business, and having been working in the business companies for a while now, I know when you're working on a project, there are some certain expectations around it in order to put in a significant amount of effort, depending on where in the structure you are in the company, right? And if you're if you're a manager, like what level of a manager are you, what level of a worker are you, that sort of thing. And depend on like the level of responsibility you have towards the specific project that we're talking about. And the expectation is there would come a time in the period of time within that the project timeline, where things will just kick up a notch, and you're just gonna have to put in a little bit more effort to get it over the line. And sometimes it can be about the amount of work you got and the meeting the deadline, because the reality of the situation is you do have deadlines, regard whether you like it or not. Every project you work on always have deadlines, and when you have deadlines, when you're reaching it and you just know that you haven't done the work required for it, and you need to crank up your workload in order to reach it, you're just going to be working more. That's the reality with any type of business, regardless whether you work in gaming industry or any other industry. But what's different is when you're working on a project, sometimes it could be a mix of the management making you work more, or it's because you've been slacking and you just have to pick up the pace and then just try to catch up with your work. It could be either one of those two things, or just a mixture of those things, right? It seems when it comes to gaming industry, the crunch itself is it's mainly caused by management making you the crunch. It's not because of like your personal slack, and that's where the issue is. So now we have established that Naughty Dog has been on the right path to eliminate the crunch culture, and then Bloomberg has dropped this article yesterday. Okay, this was yesterday, and just have to see this. All right, just have to see this. Let me try to adjust the thingy again. There you go. Tell me if you can see the text, yeah? So, employees at Sony Group Corp, Naughty Dog Studios, are working mandatory overtime to finish a demo for their next video game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Okay, reviving an infamous workplace tradition that is increasingly frowned upon across the industry. For the past 7 weeks, the Santa Monica-based studio behind The Last of Us has been pushing its staff to work long hours to get ready for an upcoming review of the demo by its parent company. According to people familiar with the situation, starting in late October, staff were asked to begin working a minimum of 8 extra hours a week and logging their overtime in an internal spreadsheet, said the people, who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. This overtime period was an attempt to get the production back on track after several missed deadlines. All right. Okay, so it seems Naughty Dog has brought back the crunch culture. Uh, well, yeah, I mean, it looks like, they're logging their overtime and they are getting paid for it. Okay, there is internal spreadsheet. Internal spreadsheet. They're looking at outside of their usual systems, I assume. But either way, they're logging it. But that's not even the issue. The employees were instructed not to work more than 60 hours a week. Staff were also told to return to the office 5 days a week for this period, up from 3 previously, sending some employees scrambling to find alternative care arrangements for children and pets. Representatives for Sony and Naughty Dog declined to comment. Okay, so Naughty Dog have had no crunch culture for the past couple of years, ever since they've been working, as they mentioned in that documentary Grounded 2. You can go watch it. And now they're requesting people to return back to the office 5 days a week and not to work more than 60 hours. That means they're required to work 8 extra hours a week. It's crazy. I know, it's crazy. It is pretty dire circumstances, and it could be very annoying to the employees, because these guys probably make their schedule and their life around working from home, and now they have to arrange, like they said, childcare and pet care and other alternative care arrangements for and every other thing, because now they're required to come into the office 5 days, not just come into like work from home 2 days. That extra 2 days that you have from home, you have to work. I understand from a business perspective, the company, there are security issues. Okay, I'm just not trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm just saying, there are security issues when you work from home, especially for companies like video game development companies like Naughty Dog, Rockstar, Sucker Punch, Insomniac. These guys all had hackers break in and actually stealing their work in the past. So like people trying to hack and get access to the projects that you're working on is a thing when it comes to gaming industry. So there are security risks to worry about as well, especially when you're getting closer to an end of the project. In this case, I'm assuming this is the demo they're talking about. So we're getting a demo for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, and as it's getting closer to its delivery date, I'm assuming there are security concerns as well. So they're requesting people to come to the office and work full time, and also work overtime. This is it's crazy. It's really crazy. Mind you, this could be because Sony just at one point, maybe like a couple of weeks ago, this started in October. So prior to October, Sony must have been like, okay, guys, you have been slacking quite a lot. You haven't released like a game since The Last of Us Part 2. It's been like 7 years. What are you guys doing? So, and Neil Druckmann was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was just making TV shows that was really shit. I just got back, blah, blah, blah. So they must have realized they've been actually slacking quite a bit because of, no crunch. I get it, but they haven't actually delivered any actual new game in a really, really long time. We haven't had a Naughty Dog game on the PS5 era, and now we're already like more than halfway through the PS5 cycle, and we're almost getting close to PS6 now, and we still haven't received a Naughty Dog game. It's pretty crazy. So I think they sort of started to like realize, okay, we gotta deliver something, so this is why they have to pick up the pace. Crunch culture in Battlefield 6 sessions. Yeah, that's it. Gotta work overtime for Battlefield, bro. You gotta win the war. You gotta win the battles to win the war, bro. What are you talking about? You know, as I was saying, like it says in this article, this overtime period was an attempt to get the production back on track after several missed deadlines. So it seems they have missed so many deadlines, and that's why they started to put this. So this sounds to me like a pretty bad management issue. So got the battle passes completed, all of them, even the limited time events. And yeah, it sounds to me like a pretty bad management issue on their part, and that's what led to this whole crunch situation, and the way they're handling it, pretty bad. Mind you, like I said before, they haven't actually had a big IP, like a big project where like a new game is delivered, so ever since this elimination of crunch has put in place. This was put in place after The Last of Us Part 2 was delivered. Okay, they said like actually kind of halfway through, because they had a lot of issues with, you know, the crunch culture during the development of The Last of Us Part 1, and then like halfway through the development cycle in part 2 of Last of Us, they put the, you know, non-crunch culture put in place, or try to eliminate it, and ever since then they actually haven't really delivered on a new game. So there hasn't been an instance where Naughty Dog had been able to successfully deliver a new game without having crunch being part of it. I hope you realize that, even though it's been like 7 something years ever since the last game was released. They did remakes and remasters and whatever, but those don't count. So it looks like they're failing in the management side of things to make sure that, you know, the timelines are on track and the workloads are deliverable for each employee, and now they're putting crunch back in place. It's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad look on their part, and I don't know, man. I think this is partly because Neil Druckmann has been quite busy making TV shows instead of games for the better part of the decade, I think. And also, there's another aspect of this that we are not considering, which is the Eastern competition. As we have seen, we're getting like insane amount of competition from the east side of the world, and you know, Eastern devs don't really care about crunch. Like you said before, the Japanese devs, you think they care about crunch? No, man. Like crunch is respect. Crunch is respect for those guys. Like if you don't crunch, you're not working. You know, you gotta get up 5 o'clock in the morning and work until 10 o'clock at night. And if you only get 2 hours to sleep, and that's respect, right? And this is same through like Chinese devs and Korean devs. Crunch is not seen as a thing that you have to eliminate in those countries. So you're getting some serious competition from the Eastern devs now, and they're like pumping out like seriously great games really quickly, and these Western devs now have to try and keep up with that as well. That could be part of the reason. Like if do you remember Blood Message? This is one of my most anticipated games, Blood Message. And this game was, when I first saw it, it was crazy. I'll just try to move forward. This game, this is coming, I don't know when it's coming actually. It's been, hasn't revealed much about the game yet, but this is the only thing we got. But this is the game. And Eastern devs are delivering this level of quality, and Where Winds Meet is one of them. It's a free game. It's a completely free game, and it's got a AAA quality level production, and it's crazy. And this is coming, I think, next year. I think, or the year after. I think next year. They haven't said anything. But we got this one, and God Slayer is another one. We've got a whole bunch of games that are coming from the East, and they're gonna be pumping out these games like very quickly, within like a couple of years at a time. And we already seen a whole like a surgence of these games coming out. Every couple of weeks we're getting a new announcement for what, like a game coming from the East, and it's I gotta say, Military Rome. Oh, Military Rome. Do you remember Rise Son of Rome? Rise Son of Rome, yeah, that's the one. I love that game. That game still holds up to this day. This back when Xbox was good. Anyway, look how good this game looks. Yeah, man. That is true. Anyway, so this is the game I'm talking about, and crazy games. And yeah, Rise Son of Rome, that was like, oh my god. Xbox was kicking ass with that game, bro. It was a launch title for Xbox One. I bought an Xbox One just to play that game. No kidding. Vampire Dude game. You're talking about the Blood of Dawnwalker. Yeah, no update on that yet, but we know it's coming next year, February, I think, end of Feb. So it's pretty close. We might get more gameplay close to that. But yeah, so as I said, no more gameplay. As I said, it's a crazy time for Naughty Dog, and they're going back on crunch. And like I said, because of these Eastern devs kicking ass and really stepping up the game, and they don't have to worry about crunch, we might actually see crunch slowly returning to the West again. I know, I hate to say it, but with Naughty Dog actually taking the first step to bring back crunch like this, we're probably going to see this coming, like sneaking its way back into other companies too slowly, and we're going to hear about it, and we're going to make a fuss about it. Would it go away? Probably not. As long as it stays away from Australia. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's even in Australia, it's kind of an issue, right? Like, we're trying to pass like 4-day work week over here in Australia, but like the government is not budging, and the companies don't want to do it. It's pretty crazy. And some of the companies that I have worked previously in the past actually have gone back on hybrid work culture. They had the hybrid workplace put in 3 days from 3 days work from the office, 2 days from home. And recently, one of the companies that I used to work, I heard from one of the guys that I used to work with, they went back and they're requesting people to come back to the office full time. There's no more hybrid. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's crazy. There's some and there are companies that have gone fully remote, and I adore those companies for doing it, because if that means you can get the work done, then why the hell not? Shouldn't make a difference where you work from. Anyway, I'm just going on a tangent, but that's what this is where it's come to. Naughty Dog, one of the most respected gamers. Yeah, you're just talking about Naughty Dog. Yeah, here it says, in 2021, after facing burnout and some attrition among its workers following the release of The Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog began building a new team of producers charged, in part, with alleviating the overload of work on upcoming projects. But many of those producers have left the company, according to the people familiar with the situation. Oh. Oh. Okay, so according to Bloomberg, Naughty Dog put people in charge to actually manage this whole eliminating crunch situation, and those producers have left the company now. Okay, okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. So, is that why that they're bringing back crunch culture? What is going on? What is going on? Look at this. Some teams at Naughty Dog worked long hours to finish the game's debut trailer, which was released last December. But this is the first time in recent years that overtime has been mandated across the bulk of the studios. The game is slated for release in mid 2027. It's not even coming out next year, bro. According to the people familiar with the schedule, leaving some employees wondering if the overtime requirements will get worse later in the development cycle. Yeah, so this is a real concern. Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet is not due to release until mid 2027. We're probably not even going to see any gameplay until much later in the next year. Although we were expecting to see some gameplay in the Game Awards, we didn't get that either. But we are now. This whole crunch situation is purely because of a demo. It's not even the full game. They're just trying to get a demo out. And that's where the crunch is. So yeah, the employees are right to worry about, the crunch overtime situation getting worse, getting closer to the release date. Because that's what usually happens. Like I said before, with any project, where as you get closer to the release date, sometimes you just have to work harder and work overtime. And that's kind of a given in most industries, and it's the same with gaming. But if they're already warranting overtime requirements this early in the development cycle, don't know what's going to happen to us the release, man. It's crazy. For most staff, the recent period of mandated overtime ended this week as Naughty Dog finalized the demo. Management told employees that the company will return to its standard requirements of 3 days in the office each week through the end of January, according to people familiar with the communications. The company said it's planned to provide a more detailed schedule for 2026 after the holiday break. Okay, so they are planning to go back to normal after this crunch over. So it is a temporary crunch, but this has been the issue before as well. Like, the crunch wasn't always present. It just always happens whenever whenever you get closer to the project delivery date, and people just have to crunch a lot. So anyway, what do you think about this whole situation? I honestly think that crunch is going to make a return for most of the gaming companies now that they have tough competition from the east as well. It might not be as bad as it used to be, but we're definitely going to see some mandated overtime requirements, unfortunately. I hope it will, I don't know, maybe this might force people to form unions, maybe. I don't know. Like, Rockstar employees apparently tried to do that and it didn't go so well. We all know about that news, but I don't know. This could go to complete and utter shit very quickly, or we're just gonna see this happen very slowly but steadily, and no one's even gonna notice until someone starts speaking out, and it's gonna be a whole thing again. Who knows? Anyway, moving on. We got a BF6 update, dude. BF6. Alright, so I mean, it's not a huge update. Not a huge update at all, but there are some interesting things, That's what you're here for. BF6. Okay, so they have apparently started to lay out the 2026 roadmap. Highlight of the stream. Okay, all right. They have said that there might be significant gameplay changes, new maps, and also battle royale solos coming next year, like early next year. So which I thought was very interesting, and they tweeted this actually, and they share some interesting stats that I want to share with you. Anyway, hang on, I'm just gonna put it on here. Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's a community update. This is from the Battlefield comms from Twitter. X. Sorry, I keep saying Twitter. It's Twitter. It's not X. All right. I'm not gonna read through this whole thing. They're just like giving you a shout out, giving the players a shout out, saying thank you and everything. And there's some stats here which I thought was really interesting. Played over 1.7 billion matches and logged 383.5 million gameplay hours. That's insane. That's insane amount of hours, bro. Insane amount of matches. And delivered 12.4 billion this and 871 million revives. You know what I noticed? I feel like people doing so much more kills and less revives. You know? Interesting question. They haven't actually. I don't know. It doesn't specify that. Specify that. I think this is just it's this all-out warfare you created together. I think it's just overall Battlefield 6 and Red Sec numbers. I think they both included in these numbers. I think it's just overall. So it probably also include bot matches, maybe. I don't know. Not sure. Not really sure how, if this fielded or not. But what I found interesting is this. Alright, I'll get to that. But this is really interesting. Deployed classes across all modes. Engineer has been played by 28% of people. 28%. So the engineer class is the most popular. And then followed by support with 27%. And then assault, 26%. I actually thought there would be... I thought engineer might be the first, but then I thought assault might be second, a close second, not support class. It's interesting to see that support class being second and the assault 26th, third, and then recon with the 19% being the lowest, kind of a given because it's mostly the sniper class. But yeah, it's very interesting. Engineer, this is not very surprising because engineer has the best. What is it? What do you call it? Yeah, might be true. I mean, it's only like like a 1 or 2 percentages of difference here, but it's almost like an even split across the three classes, apart from recon. But engineer has like higher aim down sight times, I believe, and also the bloom is much narrower in engineer class, so I understand why people will be choosing this constantly. And also most of the map you do need to be an engineer to take down vehicles, which can be a really big issue if you don't, because you kind of rely on engineer a lot. And yeah, exactly, so it kind of makes sense. But what I didn't expect is assault being third and support being second, because I really honestly thought that support would be third, and I thought a lot more people would be actually playing assault. So this is a bit of a surprise for me, even though it's only like a 1% difference. So it's like a almost even split, but still, yeah, interesting numbers. And scored over 300 million shotgun kills and more than 2 million players with defibs. God damn. Okay. Oh, I think Ali, you have contributed directly to this in the past couple of days. Destroyed 102 million helicopters and jets, with engineers alone turning over 18 million tanks into scrap. This is all you, bro. This is all you. uh, anyway, that's just some interesting stats. What are you sending me asterisks for? What did you say? I can't see what you said. You've been censored, bro. You've been censored. Okay, so this is the interesting part. I actually believe you. I actually do believe you. It is entirely possible. Alright, fair enough, yeah. You know, shotgun can be really annoying. But you know, shotgun can be really fun if you are the person who has the shotgun. Alright, 2026. This is the interesting part. So they have laid out some plans for 2026. And some of the stuff that they're saying here, refining core gameplay, balance, and quality of life improvements across multiplayer. So that's interesting. They haven't really said much. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That means a lot of people are using shotguns, man. Unfortunately, because it's an easy kill. We're probably gonna see a lot more shotguns over the past, not over the upcoming couple of weeks, because we're gonna have a lot more Christmas noobs joining the servers, and Christmas noobs, especially if you're coming from COD, most likely you'll be using shotguns because it's easy kills. So we're gonna probably see a resurgence of shotgun players, unfortunately. So buckle up, buckaroo. we gotta get Christmas news, bro. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that for the next few weeks, unfortunately. And yeah, they're getting, so refining core gameplay. This part is interesting. I don't know to what extent they're gonna do that. They haven't said much here yet. And they are developing new maps and weapons that introduce fresh tactical opportunities. I wonder if this means we're getting naval maps. I feel like that might be the case, you know. Explain why you're losing so much. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen one or the other. I mean, we just gonna have to wait. Just have to wait and ride it out. And preparing fresh experiences for future seasons, so there's always something new to jump into. I don't know. I think this is just, they're talking about like limited time events, and they've been pretty steady with it. Actually, we already had like a couple of limited time events in Battlefield, and they were quite nice, and not so flashy like the Call of Duty is. So, which is always appreciated. So I think they're just gonna see more of that stuff, which is great. Get players to keep coming back. Battlefield Labs, I don't use that much. Winter Offensive shit. Yeah, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't nothing to, you know, praise, but it was just alright. It's just a free thing, whatever. Like, don't really care much. You're also getting battle royale solos, so that's great. You can play by yourself battle royale without having to squad up. I guess that's what it means. I don't know. Anyway, holiday quiet time. As we head to the remember to make some time for yourself and your loved ones. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is force you to play your own play style. Yeah, man. So this is telling you to go take a break, have a shower. You know, what's that line? Holiday quiet time. So it's asking you to remember your loved ones. That's that line. Which one? Which line are you talking about? Last paragraph before the next section. Oh, a certain little bird is eager to say hi again. We'll have more to share. I think they're referring to a helicopter. They're bringing back a helicopter from like a. I heard something about that. I don't know. Yeah, it's a helicopter. I think it's called I don't know what it's called actually. something. Yeah, it's called MH6 Little Bird. That's what they're referring to. So, it's an iconic aircraft from previous games. So they're bringing back MH6 Little Bird into. It's a scout helicopter. They're bringing it back to Battlefield 6. So that's what they're talking about. And this is that. That's the. It's the small little scout helicopter. We don't have the little helicopters in the game yet, so they're bringing back those, which I think is cool. It's good news for people who pilot the pilots of Battlefield. It's good news for them. I personally don't care much, but here we go. Here we go. Yeah, it's a scout helicopter. It's not a attack helicopter. So yeah, it's just transport only. But that's not bad, I guess, right? I mean, that means you're gonna have some people just driving around the freaking map, dropping people off everywhere. We'll probably see a lot more of that happening, which is can't say not a bad thing, right? Because you used to have that kind of thing happen a lot more in the previous games, you know. Yeah, more parachuters, yeah. But the thing is, I have noticed, like, we get two types of helicopters now. We do have a transport helicopter, but the but that one has like guns on it, and like gunners attached them, rail guns, and then one of the other ones is just the two person helicopter, one on the gunner, one on the pilot seat. So we don't really have like a dedicated scout helicopter, a transport helicopter in any of the maps. So it's good they're bringing it back. Yeah, you know, it is hard to kill the parachuters if you wait to unleash your parachute up until the last minute. Like if you open your parachute right after you're dropped and you're just gliding in the air for the most part, it is so easy to get that kill. You know, a certain someone did that yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday or the day before? I remember, and that was pretty stupid. Oh man. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you don't have your. I really call that bullshit, honestly, because I think you should be able to have your gun, like you should be able to just aim with your gun while you're dropping down. So, anyway, yeah, I think that's the bird they're referring to. That's the little bird they're talking about, because it's literally called MH6 Little Bird. So they're basically confirming it's coming. It's been a rumor up until this point. Anyway, so that's the BF6 update, man. all right. I'll let you have that one. Oh, okay. What else have we got? Oh, I could also talk about your favorite studio, game studio. You know your favorite game studio? Can you have a guess? You know what I'm talking about, right? Yes, it's Bungie. We got Bungie news, bro. Okay. So I think it was just in the last stream we went through the whole video that they released with the the vision for marathon. You know, if you remember that they had this whole thing happening. They are talking about the vision for Bungie and vision for marathon, and it was all like pretty crazy. Like a lot of information was shared, and we did have issue with the scopes of the game. And I didn't quite like the scopes, and they were huge and they were so blocky. Other than that, No, this is not about Marathon. This is actually about Bungie. Today's news, but yeah, the whole this whole thing was because when Marathon was first released, they had a lot of people calling them out and saying, okay, this, like, especially with the art direction, they had a lot of issues because they were called out for plagiarizing art, which was a serious thing. Literally, the people who made art like this were coming out and posting comparison shots of their art, which has been, released into the internet, and then showing like screenshots of the game that Bungie released, saying, okay, they have used my art without my consent. I didn't even know. And it's like literally one to one, exactly the same thing. And it was like this huge, massive deal. And people are really calling Bungie out on it. So they had to take a step back and rework a lot of the stuff about the game, because it wasn't just the art, it was the game too. Everyone's like, what the hell is this shit? Like, what are you giving us, Bungie? Like, you had like you gave us Destiny and Destiny 2, and this is what you're coming up with now. So everyone was kind of pissed, right? So they went quiet, and now they released this video a couple of days ago, which is kind of showing the reworked gameplay, reworked vision, reworked vision, and everything about the game. Anyway, this has been like what, 2 days, all right? This game came out. This video came out on 16th of December, so just 4 days ago, and now we already getting news about the art director of Bungie, who's in charge of the Marathon, leaving. He's left. Show me the dislikes. Oh, yeah, you can't see it. I can't see the dislikes on this. It doesn't show me how many. Can't see the dislikes. It doesn't show it here either. No. I know there's a thing that you can do, plugin to view it, but I don't have it. But yeah, the art director of Bungie has left the business months before launch. I mean, they just confirmed this is coming next year, March, in that video. And the art director's already abandoned ship. Yes, yeah, exactly. That's it. And creative differences. Okay, this is the crazy part. So this is the article from Kotaku, and they have said, Kotaku has learned that veteran artist Joseph Cross recently decided to depart the studio. The move comes just months ahead of the Extraction shooter's new March 2026 release date. And the first line is actually so true, because Marathon is actually probably the most visually striking game Bungie's ever made. It's so different to what they have made before. And then the art director... You mean this one, the visually striking game? No, I think when Kotaku says that, it means like it's so different to what Bungie has done before. Like I don't think it means like it's like striking in the sense like, oh, it's better than Destiny. I'm thinking it's so different to what Bungie has done in their portfolio up until this moment. Like, it's very different. It's visually striking in the sense it's so different. It's so freaking different. And it's a very specific art direction they have taken with Marathon, and it's a very acquired taste. And that acquired taste is the person who's in charge of that art is this guy, Joseph Cross. And now he's moving on before this game even comes out. which is crazy to me. It's still not coming out until March 2026, which is months away, and he's already leaving. I don't know what to say about that. Destiny 2 Moon is better than Marathon Moon. Yeah, I agree. You know, Destiny has some of the best visuals I've ever seen. Even like the art direction of Destiny is very unique, very unique. Like you can spot anything Destiny from a mile away, and you can call it out. But in the same sense, you can kind of say the same thing about some of the art directions that Marathon has taken. It does have a bit of a uniqueness to it, even though I don't like it. You don't have to like it, but it has a unique, weird ass direction about it, and it's very colorful. Sometimes it does look like a bit Fortnitey, but you have to agree that it is a little bit a unique take on what Bungie's done before. And the person who's in charge of that whole look of the game leaving before the game coming out, I don't know how to feel about that. And this was spotted earlier by the Game Post. His LinkedIn profile was recently updated to give his senior art director position at Bungie an end date of 2025, and his account on X no longer references the studio at all. He was a lead concept artist at Bungie throughout the Destiny years and returned to the studio around 2020 to help shape the aesthetic for Marathon, the company's newest multiplayer shooter. So, yeah, he's been there the whole time pretty much. I mean, he went in and out, but he's been a pretty integral part of Destiny as well as Marathon. And yeah, it's crazy. But he has he has talked to Kotaku and said that this is what he said. He said, I'm super proud of the project and what the team accomplished over the last 6 years. He also recently shared a clip on X from Bungie's latest VDoc. That's the vision thing. This one that we looked at. Clip from that showing how Marathon has evolved following its delay after negative fan feedback from an alpha test. So yeah, I don't know. This is a weird situation to be in, man. It could just be because he probably finished his contract, and like you said, he pretty much finished up whatever he needed to do for the game, so he's moving on, or because he doesn't want to stay at Bungie and he just wants to move on. It could be anything. It's not clear why, but it is weird that he's moving on before the game is even released. The game that he worked on hard to shape, he's moving on before it's even released. That is kind of weird. Like, I understand if you finish the stuff that you need to do for the game, but if you really had some faith in the game, you'd probably stick around until launch to see how it goes, wouldn't you? Like I worked on so many projects in my life with for companies, still do, and whenever I'm working on a creative project, I want to see the end of it. I don't jump ship before. Like if someone fires me, that's a different thing. But if you had a choice, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like he's the one who made the choice here to depart from Bungie. So if that's the case, if I had a choice, I wouldn't just leave before the project actually is delivered and see the results of it, because I would be pretty stoked to see what's going to happen, right? So that's where the concern for me, because this guy, the guy who shaped Marathon to look the way it does, has just left the company 3-4 months before the launch of the game, without waiting to see the launch of the game and see how it performs. Now, why would you do that? Unless you have zero faith in the game that you helped to make, and you know that it's probably going to be a massive flop and it's going to break the studio. So you're jumping ship way ahead of time, so you can recoup your losses and move on. We have seen this happen so many times before with execs in the companies, especially in the gaming space, and this is not the first time this happened. So it could be why, or either that, or we just hearing bullshit, and really the Bungie made him quit because he messed up everything with Bungie and now they can't come back from it. I don't know. It could be that too. It was maybe like a quiet request to resign or something. I don't know. It could be any one of those situations. We just never know. But it is still a weird situation that one of the big guys from Bungie in charge of Marathon is leaving before the game's already out. Game's even out. Doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence on Marathon, man. Like even the little bit of confidence that I gained after watching that vision of Marathon video, it's all gone now because after hearing this news. What do you think? Do you think that this is nothing? Like absolutely nothing. It's just corporate BS, people moving on. The game is not gonna get affected. Blah blah blah. Like if you think that, it's fine. Let me know. But otherwise, are you as concerned as I am about Marathon? Let me know. Okay. Well, so we've talked about a lot of AI games in our streams before. I remember we talked about a Titanic simulator a couple of months back about how this Titanic simulator game has made its way into the PS store and nobody realized that it was like some AI slop. Like it wasn't even a real game and people were wishlisting it, and then it made its way to like Steam store. Nobody realized that it was AI, but like if you look at the trailer of it, it's completely AI bullshit. And then it got delisted after people just realized it and everyone started calling on it. So after that, we've had several instances where people getting really, really hyped about the future of gaming being AI driven. And we already seen, the use of AI sneaking into the current games. Like even games like Call of Duty already using AI generated content in their development stuff. Even the game of the year, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 devs in Sandful Interactive, they have said that they have used AI a little bit during their development as well. So AI is not going away. It's here to stay. But the part that I'm not convinced is that you can use AI as it is today to make a game. I don't think that's possible. Even if you do make a game using AI, I don't think you can achieve the same level of like quality with an AI game like you do when it's like made by actual people. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm not convinced. But the thing is, we actually apparently have a game. We actually have a game that is apparently made by AI. And you can play it right now. And that's where we at. So this is a game called Codex Mortis, okay? And there's some PR materials that's been circulated by its developers, and there's a first playable demo of this. It's a necromantic survival bullet hell, that's what they call it, and it's on Steam already for you to have a look. So we're gonna have a look actually to see what this AI slop is, and this is what it is. Okay, the Codex Mortis. And like these are the screenshots. Like if you look at it, I don't know if you're impressed to see that, but that's apparently made, all of that made by AI. And it even says in the description, they're very unapologetic about it. It says, death is your weapon, mix 5 schools of dark magic, unleash devastating spell synergies, and raise undead armies in this necromantic bullet hell. Infinite builds, solo or co-op, embrace the forbidden and dominate. This even reads like AI slop. 100% AI driven development. Okay, so they're not even embarrassed to say it, and they have a trailer for this game, which is very much an AI slop. Look at this. This is AI. You can tell that it is completely made by AI, though. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, look at this AI slop. This is the game, by the way. This is made completely by AI. I don't know, dude. I mean, the trailer, you can tell that it is very much an AI. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, so this demo is playable right now on Steam. And yeah, it's just a bunch of AI slop, apparently. And they say that it apparently inspired a lot by Vampire Survivors type of game, with like mixed with Guild Wars. Like that's what they say. Like Vampire Survivors meets Guild Wars style builds. That's what it is. And they're claiming all of this has been done with driven by AI, but I'm not so sure. Not so sure. It looks pretty shit, to be honest. I don't know. I don't really play that kind of game, so I can't comment on it. This might be something that certain number of certain type of people would like, or actually will play, but I don't know. I don't know, man. It's they're claiming that it is created through AI, and it's the world's first fully playable game. Do you believe this, or do you think that it is a bunch of BS? What do you think? I think it might be a bunch of BS, honestly. I think they are using the claim of AI very liberally with the description, and it could just be like they're saying that it's AI driven development, 100% AI driven development. That is a very vague way to sort of cover the whole development thing and the use of AI without getting into trouble, and be right in every single angle. Like this could mean they use AI for the 100% of the development, or it could just mean they were part of AI was 100% a part of the development, but to what percentage? Don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It smells a little. I smell bullshit with this one. I don't know. The trailer looks completely AI driven, though. Yeah, it could be that they just copied the code and just uh, just used it. That could certainly be possible. And this is someone playing this live right now. So here we go. Gotta. This is what it. This is how it plays. This is the game. Yeah. And then, yeah, Bill, you might be familiar with this. Compare the gameplay. Yeah, okay. I'll compare the gameplay. So you're saying this is like Dota, right? See, I don't play a lot of those kind of games, so I'm not very super familiar with it. But let's have a look. Let's have a look. Nest of Thrones. Nest of Thorns. Okay. Okay. So this is Nest of Thorns. So it's like this, yeah? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I see the similarities. Except Dota looks like 1,000 times better than that. Obviously, it looks so much better, and they're comparing it to Vampire Survivors. Okay, I don't know what that game is because I'm not in this space. I don't really. Oh, okay. So this is Vampire Survivors. So they're saying they took inspiration from this game, which I believe is also similar to Dota 2, really. Okay, I see. I see it. I see it. I see the similarities. But again, Vampire Survivors, this game looks like it was actually like it looks better. I don't know what it is. It just looks better. Easier on the eyes. Not too busy. You can clearly see what you're looking at. Yeah. And then you got and then you have this. And then you got this. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I just see like it's so busy on the screen. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I see the two guys in the middle here, but then all around it is just numbers popping out and then just enemies. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know like who would actually have fun playing this game. Would you? Okay, you're the kind of guy who would play Dota. Like you play Dota a lot. Would you play this game? Ollie, tell me. Would you play this completely 100% AI made game? You can actually. Right now, you can download it and play it. Would you though? Love to know. It's interesting. It has multiplayer co-op too. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, if the graphics are what it is, you have to say it's. This is a yes or no question. This is a yes or no question. Would you play this game as is? This is the game, man. This is. It's not gonna look any better than this. This is the game, straight out of the package. You just open it, and this is what you get. Are you gonna play this? Yes or no? Okay, there you go. There you have it. There you have it. There you have it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, Nest of Thorns, looking at the gameplay, I might actually even play that game. I might actually give it a crack. This one, hell no. It just looks like, I don't know. It just looks so bad. Like, what part of this game makes you feel like you're gonna have a lot of fun? It just looks so busy on the screen. It's hurting my eyes, man. Yeah. Anyway, some AI slop again. I don't think we are there yet, to be honest, with AI. This, like I said, this whole claim on this game being 100% AI made feels like a little bit of bullshit to me. Apart from the trailer definitely AI. They're not even trying to hide it. It is very much an AI game, AI trailer. But I don't think we're there yet in terms of making a fully playable game that is created 100% through AI. I think that is pretty BS. Even if it is 100% made through AI, this is the kind of slop you're gonna get with AI made games if it is made by AI, you know? And I don't think we gonna get there for a while, even if people start making games. I mean, we saw the other day we saw like clips from like AI game clips. Do you remember where we like laughing, like I was laughing so hard at those clips that this guy was posting. I forgot who was his name was, but he was like, "Oh, this is the future of gaming," and he shared some AI game clips, and it was just hilariously badly rendered, and you could see like a train running through across this, like, yeah, and yeah, I don't know. It was like like your bullets are like freaking flying everywhere, and like there's random shit happening all over. You jump down, and all over there's like two roads where you were, and there's like a random door opening up. It's like, yeah, it was. That's the level. That's what people are calling AI games now, which is not possible. Like that's just BS. Uh, anyway, I think it'll be a while until we could actually say an AI made a game like you can play, but I think we will get there eventually, but we're just not there yet because right now you can use AI to actually create code. So look, literally, you can just go to ChatGPT right now and ask it to make like create a code for you, and it'll generate code, and you can use that. And I like if you're using Canva, you know how it is there. You can actually generate apps and small games using Canva. You can just ask it to make it, and it'll make it for you using code, and then it'll literally create like the whole thing app for you, and which you can export. So AI is already kind of there, but it's not advanced enough to make a fully playable proper game. Not a complicated game anyway. Like I'm talking about like the dinosaur jumping game on Google Chrome when you don't have internet connection, like that level. Like you can make that type of games, but not a complicated game. Anyway, but yeah, we got people claiming this AI slop to be playable games now, and that's where we at. Mm. Oh, okay. Uh, so a while back we we were talking about how there has been a Horizon clone called Light of Morderum, and it's made by Tencent, and it was it looked so unapologetically like Horizon. It was crazy. It was pretty freaking crazy how they managed to get away with it. And we said, okay, obviously Sony's gonna sue these guys, because it looks so much like Horizon, and we were right. Let me just show the game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the game. All right, so I was so sure. That Sony was going to sue Tencent over this game because of how similar it looked to Horizon games. Because Sony loves the Horizon property. They've got so many plans for it, and recently they even unveiled a mobile game that's mobile version of Horizon game that's coming out. It's like a MMORPG style Horizon game. So they're milking that IP quite a lot. So there's no way they're gonna let Tencent get away with a game that looks like Horizon that could confuse and dilute the brand. So they sued them, and there was a court case ongoing for so many months, and I think uh, last time we heard about it, both parties, Sony and Tencent, wanted to postpone the court hearing, and now we are learning that they are settling this out of court. Sony and Tencent have managed to settle this out of court. That's what we're hearing now. So because they've settled it out of court, we don't have a lot of details, unfortunately. It's we just got very small amount of information to go on, and as it's PR wise, better move, 100%. And but also, like, it also means we just don't know, like, the terms of what the terms of the agreement was, right? And it's the reason why we're hearing about it is because they both have filed a new request asking the court to dismiss the case on the condition that both parties settle the lawsuit through an agreement. And we know that they must have come to an agreement because people are noticing that there's been some delisting happening across pretty much all the major platforms for Light of Mortarum. So Tencent is delisting the game out of all the platforms. That means they must have settled it out of court. That's all we know. That's all we know. If Tencent is bigger, then why settle? Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. That's the thing. We don't really know what the terms of the agreement was, because what they were saying when the court case was going on was there was a lot of back and forth with the case, and they, basically Sony was calling Light of Mortarum is a blatant knockoff, and then Tencent was blowing back, saying in defense that is total nonsense, that fame doesn't create a trademark. That's what they were saying, even though pretty much it was in Sony's ball. Like, the ball was pretty much in Sony's court with this one, because it did look too similar to Horizon, both in terms of art style, as you can see, as well as the gameplay wise. It played like Horizon 2. So the ball was pretty much in Sony's court with this one. So I guess it's Tencent. It was Tencent's call. It might have been Tencent call to settle this out of court, so they don't have to waste so much money on this for a game that hasn't even been released. Look at this. This looks straight out of Horizon. This looks straight out of Horizon. You can't, like, if you didn't know about this game, you would think that this is Horizon. So even though Fame doesn't create a trademark, IPs do. So it is a pretty much a very similar style to Horizon. So I think, I don't know. I think they're probably gonna ditch this IP. We don't know what's gonna happen to this title, Light of Mortarum. We're probably not gonna see anything of it. They'll probably get rid of it and then move on, because the reality is we got a new Horizon game coming up. We also have a new MMORPG, like literally a Horizon game in this style, like the Asian MMORPG style Horizon game is also coming. So there's really no space for Tencent to make a Horizon or even a Horizon clone in that space anymore, because Horizon got it covered. So if Horizon's already doing it, why the hell would people play this unless it's a better product? But even then, they can't do it because it just looks so similar. So yeah, we don't really know the terms of the agreement, but at least they have settled it out of court, and the court case is no longer ongoing, and we're probably not gonna see Light of Mortarum, and that will be the end of it. I think that's it. And yeah, I think what's the other code? The Horizon MMORPG. What was it called? I forgot. Horizon Steel Frontiers. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. This is the other one. Horizon Steel Frontiers. Yeah, so this game, obviously, look at that. It looks really good, and it's made by. It's actually not made by Gorilla Games. It's made by an Eastern dev. They just acquired the IP for it, and you got this. So why the hell would you need Light of Motorum? So that's where we at. Just yeah, it's not a big piece of news, but something interesting nonetheless. Moving on. Oh, let's talk about Netflix games. This is what we've been waiting for. Netflix games, man. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing up Netflix games is because I feel like this news that I'm going to talk about, it is probably marks a significant shift in Netflix's plan for their games division. And I think that's really interesting, especially with the recent acquisition of Warner Brothers and WB Games. And I think we have to talk about it. You know, hang on. Whoa. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think we have to talk about it at least a little bit because what Netflix have gone and done now is they have announced a brand new FIFA licensed game that will be released ahead of the 2026 World Cup, exclusively available on Netflix games, which means that you only have it available on your mobile devices and on TV if it supports it, but mainly your mobile devices on your phones and your iPads, tablets. Not even on PC. I don't think you can play Netflix games on PC. So don't think that's possible. But yeah, that's an interesting announcement. The FIFA license has been unconnected with the gaming sphere following the end of the long-term partnership they had with EA Sports. And if you realize, like once the license expired, EA just has been releasing their own like soccer games, but it wasn't a FIFA license. But there has been talks about the 2K acquiring the FIFA license, and there'll be like a 2K soccer title. But I think I don't know whether that will still be the case. But it looks like Netflix will be collaborating with FIFA to make their own football sim game starting next year. It could be an annual thing too. Maybe they could do an annual thing, but I don't know what it says. But according to Insider Gaming, it says, as reported by Football Gaming Zone, the title will be available exclusively on Netflix games. Developed and published by Delphi Interactive, and the upcoming game will allow Netflix members to experience the emotion and drama of the tournament in its purest, most joyful form. I don't know what that means. Are they talking about the actual sport or what? Experience the emotion and drama of the tournament in its purest, most joyful form. Okay. The press release describes the title as fast to learn, thrilling to master, and built for anyone to jump in, with solo and online play available, with the only requirements being Netflix and a phone. Speaking about the game, FIFA president Gianni Infantino said FIFA is very excited to team up with Netflix and Delphi Interactive ahead of the FIFA World Cup 2026. This major collaboration is a key milestone in FIFA's commitment to innovation in the football gaming space. I don't think this has anything to do with football gaming space, but all right, cool. reimagined game truly marks the beginning of a new era of digital football. It will be available for free to Netflix members, and it's a great historic step for FIFA. So they're saying a bunch of stuff here. I want to know what Delphi Interactive has made prior to this venture. Okay, so Delphi. I'm on their website right now. Redefining how AAA games are made. We are the architects of behind 007 First Light. Oh, okay. And the company leading the return of the beloved FIFA simulation game. So they are a third-party developers who worked with IO Interactive on 007 game, which hasn't released yet. But that's it. This is all. This is it. I can't click on anything. Whoa! It's just a page. This is the whole thing. I can't see anything. Okay. So they just got a one pager with a small description. That's literally it. I'm just on their LinkedIn profile because why the hell not? It looks like 11 to 50 employees, and it's got 14 employees in attached to Delphi Interactive or Delphi. I don't know how you say it. It's based in California. Yeah, okay. So they obviously work with IO Interactive as third-party devs to like co-develop the game, and it's a very small team, and now they're taking on FIFA. That's pretty much all we got. It's a very small team that are working with Netflix to build this game, and this is not giving us a lot to go on, to be honest. Not a lot. But the fact that they're saying they're reimagining the game and that it is fast to learn, thrilling to master, and built for anyone to jump in, and it is going to be mobile phone friendly game. All of this screams this could be a very different FIFA title to what we're used to seeing when it comes to soccer sim games. Like what EA has been making so far. I don't think it's going to be in the same vein as previous FIFA titles that we've had. It will be a very different game, and they're saying that it's going to be like you'll get to experience the drama, blah blah, like the joy of the tournament, all that. This is all telling me this is probably going to be a mix of actual sport mixed with like some drama, story, some narrative elements to it. There's probably going to be like a story attached to it that you can follow along with like dialogues and stuff, maybe. Like similar to the career path that you have in those games, like the EA titles. But yeah, I don't know. It looks like that's what it would be. Might even be like a pixel art form game. It might be like a pixel art one, because most of the Netflix titles, if you look at them, they're like pixelated art style games, and they make it that way because they're very mobile phone friendly to make it that way, and it's very light on the GPUs, the graphic processing units, and it can run on anything. So it might actually even be like that. It might not be like a 3D full-on thing. It might actually be like the pixel art form game. Who knows? But on the other hand, we have been getting quite a lot of like Rabin's Meat can run on a phone. So it might actually be a full-blown 3D game as well. Who knows? It's It's crazy. I don't know. It's I don't know what to think, but it sounds like it's going to be a very different game, and not at all what we used to. So we just have to wait and see. Uh, but this, this, the whole thing about Netflix doing this means they're getting really serious about, mm, the gaming division, which is really funny to me because when they were asked about the WB Games division, in their acquisition of Warner Brothers, they literally downplayed the whole division and said, "Oh, we didn't even factor that in because it's such a minor thing in the grand scale of things." Whatever. It was very weird. It was very very weird, and now they're doing this kind of stuff means they do want to get serious about their gaming division. This is why they would partner up with someone like FIFA to actually bring in a game to the mobile platform, even offer it for free for their members. So, and I think, yeah, I don't know. I think the whole thing is, it sounds a little bit fishy to me because I feel like this also means Netflix actually knows how important WB games might be also, but they might be just downplaying it because of the acquisition, and they try to like, downplay the importance of it and get it cheaper. Maybe I don't know. I don't really know, man. But it it feels weird. The whole thing feels really weird. And speaking of Netflix downplaying WB games, we've got a new figure on Hogwarts Legacy. If you don't know, Hogwarts Legacy is one of the WB games. It was uh, it was made by Avalanche Software, I think. Avalanche Software, not Avalanche Studios. Avalanche Software. That is one of the developer studios under the umbrella of WB Games, and they have revealed that Hogwarts Legacy has sold over 40 million units across all platforms. And Hogwarts Legacy was the best selling game of 2023 as well. And yeah, it's crazy. And this comes at a time where WB Games have been dead ass focusing on like online multiplayer titles like extraction shooters and multiplayer like hero shooters like uh, the S Squad, Unalive the Justice League, if you know what I mean, that which was a flop, and they kept focusing on that kind of stuff when their open world RPG game was selling so well. And they even had the definitive edition set to come out, but it got canceled by Warner Brothers for some reason as well, which makes no sense. They would have made even more money with the definitive edition if they had put it out, because people would be eating that crap up, man. People just, I'll probably have bought it too because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So the fact that they have sold 40 million units is crazy. And Netflix like, oh, we didn't even factor in WB games in our acquisition because it's such a minor thing in the grand scheme of things. What? What? What are you talking about? Like, you got Hogwarts Legacy, just one game, selling 40 million copies, which was released in 2023 and is still selling. And the fact that this game didn't even receive DLCs, man. This was just a bare bones AAA open world game just dropped. That's with no DLCs, no definitive edition, no monthly, nothing. It was just a game. Here we go, and it wasn't even supported, and people still bought it. Yeah. Anyway, they just don't realize how big it is. Just don't realize it. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that Netflix downplaying it, but at the same time, it's weird that they're investing so much on partnerships like FIFA and putting heavy importance on the growth of their Netflix games division, signaling that they want to be serious about it too. So let me know what you guys think, because I'm getting confused with Netflix, man. I don't know what their plan is, or either they're very smart and they don't want to give anything away, you know. Okay. All right. Anyway, I have to talk about this whole thing with November. November being a pretty bad month for console gaming. You know, we've had what is it? Hang on. Let me open up the whole thing. So Sakana normally drops a lot of stats about the gaming industry. They keep track of what's going on in the gaming industry, and they release reports. And they dropped some interesting numbers a couple of days ago, and that's been talked about everywhere. And Derek Strickland has also shared this chart, which is very interesting. So this is US video game hardware unit sales and average selling price. Before I get to that, I want to say that as per this article, GameFile, they're calling November a nightmare November for video game console sales, as the big three all drop in the US. So this is specifically concerning US numbers, but I'm pretty sure this is also applicable to other countries, including Australia as well, because we have seen a significant drop, and a lot of the factors that are contributing to this huge drop in console sales in specifically November leading up to the Christmas is applicable to pretty much all over the world at the moment, you know. And Derek also dropped this right over here, and you can see, if you look at this very closely, you got 1995. This is November 1995. That's where we at, and November 2025. That's where we are. This is the average selling price of a console in the US. It's gone from like about 140 something to 450. Obviously, there's inflation to factor in as well, but the situation is that the console sales in November has been so bad that you have to go as far back as 1995 to see the same level of performance in terms of sales. So if you look at total hardware units, and this is the total hardware units over here, right here, you have to go as far back as 1995 November to see the same level of hardware sales. And at the same time, you see average selling price has gone further up, so high up. And if you really look closely, this is 2019 and 2020. We've got a huge hike in price hike for consoles. You can see that right here. That's around the same time when the current generation of consoles released, and it was a huge shift in price. And as per like the other years where you see like there was a price hike, there's this on the semi, and it dropped down a bit, and now it's hiked again, and it kept hiking. And you can see as the price hiked, there was a clear drop of sales, hardware sales. As the price was hiking, the sales were dropping. So is this really surprising? I guess not. It's not that surprising. I mean, you know, when you put the price of the consoles high, people stop buying the console. I mean, imagine that, right? Like that's got to be some, yeah. what a mystery. Anyway, so that's where we at. We got a really pretty one of the worst Novembers we've had since 1995 for video game consoles, and it is very concerning. And according to GameFile here it says Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo all sold fewer consoles in the US this November than in November 2024, according to sales tracking firm Sakana, which published a bleak market update yesterday. Spending on gaming hardware for the month totaled $695 million, a 27% drop from the November 2024 total of $949 million. Let that sink in for a little bit. It was the worst dollar amount for a November since 2005, Sakana said. The amount of actual consoles sold during the key holiday shopping month was even worse. The 1.6 million units total amount amounted to the lowest reported by Sakana since 1995's 1.4 million. We are talking about the era of Switch 2, Xbox Series and PS5 versus the era of Super Nintendo, Sega Saturn, and original PlayStation 1. So, yeah. So the last time we had it this bad was when we had a Super Nintendo, Sega Saturn, and the original PS1 just coming into the market, which is interesting to know. Technically, PlayStation hasn't even really been released. It's just coming into the market, so you can't even factor that in really in 1995 because it ended up selling really well afterwards. After that time, so there's there's a very clear negative correlation between the rising console price versus falling sales volume, and it's very apparent and should not come to anybody as a surprise. And also the fact that this year we've had so many price hikes for the gaming consoles. Just this year alone we had so many price hikes. Not PS5, but Xbox did, and also Switch 2 and Switch did as well. They put up the prices, and the Xbox hardware now increasingly seen as kind of pointless as well. And also because of the fact that Xbox games are also now playable on both PlayStation and PC, people kind of not seeing the point of an Xbox gaming console anymore. And even with PS5, like you had games like Ghost of Yotei releasing, but these are pretty strong games for PS5, but not true console sellers that are driving people to buy the new hardware, buy the PS5 consoles. I think it was more like, the games were strong enough for existing people to just try them, like buy them. But I don't think it was driving a lot of people to actually buy the console just to play the game, which would be interesting, because I also think part of the reason why we've had a worse month in November 2025 this year is because of probably the absence of GTA 6 as well. Honestly, it was supposed to be releasing like right about now or before now. And I think GTA 6 is one of those very rare games that could be a potential like major console purchase driver. And this is part of the reason why GTA 6 gets released on consoles first as well. Part of the reason, not the main reason. Main reason is to manage the workload for Rockstar and make sure that the launch is smooth. But it is undoubtedly a major console purchase driver for consoles. So the absence of GTA 6 this year because of the delays probably worsened the sales by a significant margin, probably. I'm purely speculating here, obviously take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but it is very possible that they did that. And it'll be, because of that, I think it'll be very interesting to see when GTA finally drops next year. How, like, what Sony and Xbox will probably do. They're probably going to have like very steep discounts for the consoles in order to drive sales for GTA, and probably also like to make sure that people buy the consoles, because GTA is only playable on consoles for a while, not even coming on PC. So probably try to have steep discounts. I don't know. I don't know about Xbox, but Sony definitely will. And but even then, like by the time when GTA drops, it might even still struggle if consoles end up hitting like 900 plus US dollar price points, because we probably going into a recession right now, and it's probably going to get worse, let's face it. So if that's the case, even GTA 6 might struggle, and that is where we are. And there are some interesting numbers that they have shared in this article, which I thought I should share. Xbox, so Circana analyst Matt Pescatella broke things down, and he says Xbox Series unit sales were down over 70% compared to last November 2024. 70% is a big number, but I'm not surprised to see that. Xbox Series, like I said, people just don't find Xbox to be interesting enough anymore because their games are on both PlayStation and PC. So why the hell do you need an Xbox Series for? Which has been going up in price for the entire year, twice. So there's no reason for people to buy an Xbox when you can buy a PS5 for cheaper and still play Xbox exclusives. So yeah, 70% down compared to last November. Yeah, makes sense. But what's also interesting is PS5 also down 40% from last November. And even more interesting, Switch 2 and Switch were both down more than 10% compared to Switch a year ago. Yeah. So that's right. Circana data shows that even Nintendo, which launched the seemingly red-hot Switch 2 in June, went on to sell fewer Switch 1s and Switch 2s combined this November than they sold Switch 1s last November. That is crazy. That is actually a crazy situation to be in, because I actually thought Switches were selling like so well, because they said that they sold whopping 10 million units in the first 4 months since launch, and that was a lot. So I thought, at least they might be selling a lot of Switches, especially leading up to the holidays, because a lot of the kids want Switches, and their parents usually go to console for their kids. It would be a Switch over a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. And it's the most giftable console too. So most people would be buying them as gifts as well. So to see that the Switch 2 and Switch 1 sales during this November is still like combined sales of both Switch and Switch 1 and Switch 2 sales in this November is still 10% less than just Switch 1 sales from last year's November. That is crazy. That's crazy. Like, that's very telling of what the hell is going on. Like, this broader economic pressure and the recession, you're making these 700 console and $700 games. It's hard. It's harder to justify for people. People are making more conscious decisions when it comes to buying consoles as well as games now, because games are also much more expensive, especially Nintendo games have gotten so much more expensive than they need to be, and they never go on sale. Like, they're Nintendo exclusives, they never go on sale. And now it's you could actually buy them on sale from like EB Games or GameSpot or whatever. But now that most of the games on Nintendo Switch 2 is on their digital front, and you can't even buy the hard copies anymore for most games, you don't even get a sale anymore. Like, if you buy them digital, you never get a sale on Nintendo Store. So that kind of, and also the console is so freaking expensive. Like, Switch 2 is not it's obviously much more of a powerhouse than Switch 1, but it's more like a PS4, like a PS4 Pro actually. It's not even as powerful as the current gen console. So um, it and it's very expensive for what it is. So it's probably gonna get much more expensive now with the apps, with the you know the RAM shortages coming up as well. That's another thing. The RAM shortages is also probably gonna drive these consoles prices up more and more. Like I've told you before in a live stream when we talked about these RAM shortages, that PS5 have planned ahead and stocked up on RAM, so they're not planning to put up their price. But that's now. They're gonna run out of those RAM and eventually gonna have to buy stock at a higher price point, which is then gonna get passed down onto their new consoles that are gonna get that's gonna be in production then, and that those consoles at that point they're gonna have to put the price up. So we're gonna see a price hike in pretty much all consumer hardware that involves RAM, not just consoles and PCs. Anything that has a RAM will have a price going up, and that's the unfortunate reality that we're living in right now, and it's probably gonna get worse. It's probably gonna get worse. And with the recession, people just skipping or delaying optional upgrades. So, like like I remember back in the PS4 era, like me and most of my mates, we all had PS4s, not Xboxes. Like I had an Xbox One, but I ended up selling it because I had nobody to play on Xbox One with, because all my mates had PS4s. Yeah. And like I remember when, and a lot of the people, like a lot of the even new people that end up, um, getting to know, like whenever I get to know new people, like make friends with them and play online, it's always through, because everybody had a shared console, like, which is a PS4. Everybody almost definitely had a PS4. A lot of people did, and there wasn't a choice. Like, oh, are you on a PS5? Are you on a Nintendo? Are you on an Xbox? No, a lot of people had Xbox. Sorry, a lot of people had PS4s, and that's a fact. And what's interesting was when PS4 Pro released, all of us ended up upgrading to PS4 Pro as well, and it was like a no-brainer. Like it literally was like, oh yeah, PS4 Pro is more, little bit more powerful, better, so we just upgraded it. And some of my mates didn't even like trade the old PS4; they kept it, and they just got a second one. So that was kind of the landscape back then, but I'm not really seeing the same level of upgrading happening or buying happening in the PS5 era, especially with the PS5 Pro. I don't think we seeing that level of consumers uh, giving into that kind of upgrades either. Like, okay, if you already have a PS5, why the hell do you need a PS4? Like, you consume it, like people are just like happy to just stick with whatever they've got for now and not spend unnecessary money doing optional upgrade, which, because that's what a PS5 Pro is. It's an optional upgrade. You don't have to. I still have a PS5. I didn't upgrade mine to PS5 Pro either, because I didn't feel like you need to. PS5 still managed to play all the games that PS5 Pro would play, and the graphical difference is very minimal, other than occasional 60 FPS you get from PS5 Pro. It's not worth it. It's really not that worth it. You just play it, and you still have the option to play 60 FPS with the performance mode on PS5. It's really like, if you really put draw comparison between the look of games that release on both versions of PS5, you can't tell a difference. It's even if you spot a difference, like with the screenshots, when you really play the game, you can't tell. You really cannot tell. It just after like a couple of minutes, you've stopped noticing that difference, because that's just how games work. You don't always like, if it looks good, it looks good. If it looks really shit, then you'll notice. But like subtle differences, you don't really notice when you play a game. That's just the reality. So because for that reason, PS5 Pro is an optional upgrade, which probably didn't end up selling quite a lot of units as much as PS4 Pro did, and that is probably because of this current economy we're living in right now, and it's forcing people to be way more conscious with their spending habits all across the globe. It's not just the US; it's everywhere. It's here too. So I think this is what led to pretty much a lot of bad sales. A nightmare November, as GameFile calls it, for console sales, because people just don't want to buy anything that they don't have to buy. You know, that's just the reality. And also for US, I had to mention that they probably the tariffs also probably played a huge part in the rising prices as well, especially for US, because these are Chinese made consoles, even though the company can be situated everywhere, anywhere else, but the consoles are made in China, but they got hit with tariffs as high as like 88%. I think they got reduced later, but still. And then because of that, companies had to shift manufacturing heavily to other countries like Vietnam, but the cost remained still pretty high. And I think that's part of the reason why these price hikes also happened as well. And that's also contributed to this whole situation. And when asked about why November was so bad, even Matt Pescatella was like, I certainly don't have all the answers here, but pricing seems to be one of the potential influences. Like obviously he's an analytics guy, so he doesn't want to say it, but we can, because what the hell, we just like we're just giving opinions here, so we can say it. But we know that it is because it's the price hikes. It's because of the economy, the recession. Well, recession is coming. It's not declared yet, but it's coming, and people just more conscious about what they're buying now, because as you say here, the average price of a console from Big Three this November was $439, some 11% higher than a year ago. Just a year ago. Within a year, it's gone up 11% high. That's an insane number to go high on. That's a lot. That's a lot. With price, however, there is also some added nuance. Thanks in part to price promotions, PS5 was not actually more expensive this November versus last year, Pescatella said, but Xbox Series was 30% more expensive. And Nintendo Switch 2 consoles prices were up 70% due to the newer device's higher price. Of course. Yeah. And Piscatella noted that one piece of gaming hardware wasn't down from last November. That'd be Next Playground, a box for motion control games that was so hot this Black Friday that Sakana says it outsold the Xbox. It cost $250. This one. Yeah. I heard about this, but it's crazy that this console is outselling Xbox right now. It's just a little game box it's like motion control game box. You don't even get a controller. It's for like playing motion control games. That's crazy. And it's only $250, and it's outselling Xbox. How crazy is that? But I can see the appeal, though. I can see the appeal. It'll be mainly targeted for small kids and families. It's very family friendly. This reminds me of Wii U, Nintendo Wii. That was a cool console back in the day, and with the motion sensor and everything. Except this one, you don't even have to use any controllers. You just use your body as the controller, which is cool. It's very cool. I remember back in the day, you had to use sensors a lot to detect the body movement and everything. Now all you need is a camera. Camera technology has gotten so good, and you just use a camera to recognize the movement, and it's pretty accurate now. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, so this outsold Xbox 1-to-1. So I guess buckle up and buy a next Playground console next time. That's it. That's it, man. That's all you gotta do. Just buy a next. I think my next console is gonna be a next Playground 2. When they release the second version, I'm gonna buy that one, and that'll be my main go-to console for the next generation. I'm probably gonna skip PS6. I'm not even gonna consider Xbox, but just the PS6. Just buy a next Playground. I'll be happy. Just jump around and play some badminton sports or whatever. We use sports on next Playground. That's it. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about today. And yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I hope you guys had fun talking about this stuff. It's very interesting. But yeah, until Tuesday, I will see you guys on Tuesday next, on my next live stream. Until then, please make sure to go check out my videos on YouTube. And if you enjoy my content, please subscribe, because it really helps me out when you guys subscribe to me. It helps my channel grow. But yeah, until then, have a great rest of the weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Alright, try the paradigm. The underdog's walking off. Baby! Thanks for hanging out for laughs, memes, and gaming clout. Even if I tripped, lost, or failed, you stuck around and that prevailed. We checked trailers, spilled the tea, mispronounced a game or three. Call of Duty fails, oh that's me, but the chat laughed along, pure victory. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Announcement check. Jaybeazt is officially signing off. He may try to explain the plot of a game he hasn't played, argue with NPCs about story choices, or get stuck in the tutorial forever. And if someone says something wild in chat, he might go, "Oh mate, don't say that!" Thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe. But thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time. Same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe.